Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. Welcome back to the Fertility Dietitian podcast. In episode 13 of season 1, we started talking about detox foundations for fertility. Today, we're going to talk even more about swaps, the heavy hitter swaps, and that are going to really support creating a fertility-friendly environment from the inside out to support egg and sperm health and overall reproductive environment to improve chances of implantation and having a healthy baby. So we're going to use a simple framework, starting with what goes in your body, talking about what goes on your body, and then what goes around your body that is going to impact reproductive outcomes. So we'll talk a little bit about brands, budget-friendly swaps, and hopefully give you some really practical starting points to make swaps in your life that are going to make the biggest difference for fertility. So let's start with what goes in your body. We're talking about food, water, even like how you're preparing food, because that's going to end up into your body too, what food is coming in contact with. Food storage falls into that category as well. Let's talk why this matters first, just to give you a little background. There are many everyday chemicals that act as what are called endocrine-disrupting chemicals, or EDCs for short. These chemicals actually shift how our hormones are responding. A lot of them are mimicking estrogen and can influence what is happening with follicle development and sperm health, both development and the actual quality of the sperm too. The common families that we're talking about when we're talking about endocrine disrupting chemicals include bisphenols, which are BPA and BPS, phthalates, and PFAS, which you see written out as PFAS. That acronym, we say PFAS for that. Higher exposures are linked to lower fundicability, which is that uterine environment, lower implantation rates, altered ovarian reserve markers, poor semen parameters, and lower or poorer IVF outcomes. And we see this across numerous human studies and mechanistic studies as well. So, not good for fertility. Where we see biggest heavy hitters that you want to pay attention to for what's going in your body includes cookware. So thinking about the pots and pans that you use most often, we do not want them to be nonstick. Nonstick are full of these PFAS and chemicals that are very much negatively impacting fertility for both men and women. What you want to swap them for are pans like cast iron, stainless steel, enameled cast iron, and use these for your daily cooking needs. We keep seeing that there are undisclosed PFAS on PFOA-free pans. So some of those that are marketed as, non-stick but healthy for you or PFA-free are actually not. And we definitely know that PFA exposure is associated with reduced fertility. If you keep a single nonstick pan for eggs, reserve it for low heat and replace it when it gets scratched. But I honestly recommend ditching them all together because we should be eating eggs most days, which definitely increases exposure there. All right. Another area to think about when we're talking about what's going in your body is food storage. So ditch the plastic. especially for things that are hot. You don't want to be putting, like if you're storing leftovers and you just cooked a meal, putting that hot food into a plastic is going to break down those chemicals. It'll well leach into your food. And foods that are acidic should not be in contact with plastic either because acid also leaches the chemicals, mainly BPA, but also BPS, from those plastics into your food and you end up ingesting them. And heat dramatically increases that BPA leaching from the plastics and the epoxy linings of things, containers into your food. Alternately, you want to choose glass or stainless. Really just swap them all out for all of your food, ideally. But if you're keeping some plastics on hand, make sure that your food is cold and not acidic. Never heat your food in plastic, no matter what it is. Glass jars can be great. Silicone freezer bags can also be really great options for food storage as well. All right, so we have what we're cooking with, how we're storing our food. Another area to think about for what's going in your body is water. Ideally, you're filtering your water. If you have town water, filter on top of what they are doing. Get the chlorine out, get the PFAS out. Chemicals like PFAS are very persistent and associated with lower fundicability in several research studies. So the ability to get pregnant is reduced, which is what that means essentially. So filtering your water well is really important. You should be able to look up your water reports and see what type of filter you might want. In addition to what's already being filtered or altered in that itself, and same for if you are on well water. Get your water tested. Water changes with seasons and with time because our water tables under the ground change and shift with what's in them. So, periodic water testing is helpful to make sure your filters are working and you're filtering appropriately for water. Okay, receipts are something else that's going in your body too. Obviously, we're not eating them, but the absorption through our skin is really high, and there's BPA that is on those thermal receipts. We're talking about thermal paper receipts, holding on to them with your hands. There is going to be transmission there. So, big box stores like Costco specifically has done away with the BPA in their receipts, even though they're still printing those thermal receipts and you're supposed to carry them to the door before you leave. They're supposed to be bisphenol free, so BPA and BPS free. My hesitation around that is that there's probably another chemical there that we just don't know a lot about that is likely still influencing fertility too. So Costco is a place you can't really go digital. A lot of other places you can. And if that's an option, go digital, get the text receipt or the emailed receipt. Otherwise, gloves can be a good option, or just making sure that you're holding it for as brief amount of time as absolutely possible. Grab it, put it in a pocket, show it as you walk out, put it in the pocket or dispose of it immediately. Don't hang on to it because it definitely has a high absorption rate. All right. And then really prioritizing whole foods is always going to be helpful. Fewer packaged foods is going to decrease overall EDC or endocrine disrupting chemical exposure. Working on batch cooking can be really helpful, just because it's going to be more time friendly for you. But also we can cut back on amount of food storage that we need and the amount of reheating that we're going to be doing as well that way. So those are the main things to think about for what's going in your body. The next area we want to think about is what's going on your body. Think fragrances, lotions, sunscreens, deodorants, underwear, clothing even are part of this category too. And a couple of big heavy hitter ones. Going on your body are going to be laundry detergent also, and our soaps too. One I completely skimmed over as far as going in your body is also going to be how you're washing your dishes. So think dishwasher soaps or detergents and actual like soap at the sink that you might be washing your dishes with too. So we want options that are free of disrupting chemicals, a good option for both of those things, dishwasher detergent and just dish soap at the sink as well is Truly Free is a great brand option. And then for what's going on your body, the laundry soap piece, Truly Free has some good options there. Molly Suds is also a good one to check out for endocrine disrupting free options. Laundry soap is a big one because we're living in our clothes, sleeping in our sheets that are all going through the laundry as well. And the fabrics themselves that our clothes are, our sheets are, make a difference as well. So we know that for both men and women, artificial fabrics like polyester blends have a negative impact on reproduction. So if you're going to prioritize one area of clothing, it's going to be undergarments. So underwear for both men and women and bras are also going to be a good one to swap out too. I like to think anything you're sitting on, sweating in is the biggest priority to swap, starting with the underwear that are directly in contact with your reproductive organs. You want to think about looser boxer options for men because that's going to help with the scrotal temperature as well. And then natural fabrics that are like cotton, organic cotton, ideally, is going to decrease the absorption of endocrine disrupting chemicals from those clothes too. So remember that polyester blends are plastic, and we see that transmit directly into our reproductive organs. We know this from studies that have been done on dogs and testing their fertility. Dogs wear these polyester blend fabrics on their bottoms like underwear for like a 6-month period, and their fertility tanks. Then they take them off and their fertility returns to baseline. So that is how we know it's the actual fabric that is impacting them. And of course, doing testing like taking blood draws and looking at markers within the blood, we're seeing different levels of endocrine disrupting chemicals when people are using or wearing products in a certain way. Okay, so fabrics are important also. Think about your sheets as well. We often get warm, sometimes sweat in our sheets. We're spending a lot of time in them, or we should be prioritizing sleep and spending a lot of time in them. So that's a good area to think about prioritizing a fabric swap as well as a laundry soap swap too. Other things that are going on your body include fragrance. Fragrance is typically a concoction of chemicals that do not have to be disclosed in the US. Phthalates is a category that fragrance is as far as endocrine disrupting chemicals go. They are linked to altered ovarian and uterine function or semen quality. Go fragrance free or think about essential oils. But really, no perfumes or fragrances that are synthetic by any means. Think about fragrances in your other products too, like your lotions and your shampoos. Also, and we'll talk about fragrance again in what's around your body as far as candles and air fresheners, also because they are major endocrine disrupting chemicals. Lotions. So choose products without parabens whenever possible. We do show that there are decreased reproductive outcomes when we have endocrine disrupting chemicals in our lotions because anything you're putting on your skin is being absorbed. So look for paraben free and fragrance free when you're looking at lotions. For sunscreen, ideally we're looking at mineral options. So zinc oxide or titanium oxide over some UV filters like benzophenone or oxybenzone, which exhibits endocrine disrupting activity. The mineral options reduce this pathway while still protecting the skin. Also fragrance free. If not really sure if some sunscreens have added fragrance, but that's worth checking there to make sure it does not have any artificial fragrance in it. Deodorant is another one that's going on our body we need to think about. Our armpits are over lymph nodes. So essentially, what's being absorbed there is going straight into your lymph system, which is your detox system, overloading it, burdening it. We know that aluminum deodorant is highly associated with breast cancer, which isn't really a surprise when you think about the lymph nodes right there that are essentially going to be absorbing that and kind of storing it right there. And then an endocrine disrupting chemical. So it's definitely altering hormone activity in the body too. So we want fragrance free and paraben free deodorant, as well as aluminum free also for deodorant. So remember, you want deodorant and not antiperspirant. So antiperspirant is keeping you from sweating. Don't block your detox pathways, not on a daily basis anyways. You want to be able to get those toxins out, and you don't want to be absorbing toxins from your deodorant. So there's a win-win there when we're thinking about deodorant. All right, so just to review, we want to go fragrance-free. For our lotions, we want to be paraben-free as well as fragrance-free. Sunscreens, we want to think about zinc and titanium options. Deodorant, we want to be aluminum-free, fragrance-free, paraben-free also for things that are going on our body. And don't forget laundry soaps and clothes or natural fabrics, at least in the underwear or undergarment department too. Last category is what's going around your body. So I mentioned dish soaps and surface cleaners. I would really categorize that. Some people categorize it as around your body, but that's really like in your body because you're washing your dishes that are then touching your food and then you're ingesting them. So it's not as much of a touch contact issue as an ingestion contact issue with your dish soap, as well as the laundry soaps and detergents. Ones that are going around your body are going to be the fragrances. So air fresheners, candles, things that you're breathing in. Think about your air quality in general. Opening windows for 10 to 15 minutes a day can be really helpful for your indoor air quality, just because there's things that constantly off gas from our paint and our floors and our furniture and everything, especially if they have flame retardants and chemicals in them, which pretty much everything does, unless you had a lot of say into all of those areas that went into your home. So being outside, getting those windows open can really help your air quality as a whole, as well as opting for better options for candles and air fresheners that are not going to have those synthetic chemical blends that are going to be disrupting your hormones. Another thing that can help decrease toxic burden from what you're experiencing around your body is dust. Okay, so if you're like me, you don't love to clean, but maybe once you hear this, it will be motivating to clean a little bit more. Our household dust does concentrate phthalates and flame retardants and other endocrine disrupting chemicals because of those same things that I talked about that are constantly off gassing. They're also creating dust, and those little particles come with a lot of endocrine disrupting chemicals. So wet dusting, vacuuming, opening those windows are all going to be helpful for creating that fertility friendly environment in your home. Replacing older foam furniture can really lower indoor endocrine disrupting chemicals also. So if you have anything like that, think about getting rid of it or making a swap there as well. All right. So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about what goes in your body, referring to how things are cooked, thinking about your cookware, thinking about your food storage and your water, the receipts that you handle. Think about the fragrance that's going on your body, whether it's in other products like shampoos, conditioners, lotions, or even around your body, like in air fresheners or candles. Our lotions and also need to be paraben free, ideally. Think about your deodorant being both fragrance free, paraben free, and aluminum free. Your laundry and your dish soaps, your fabrics that you're wearing, especially over your reproductive organs, and thinking about indoor air quality with the help of opening your windows and dusting more to get rid of those endocrine disrupting chemicals that accumulate also. So, this can be a really overwhelming topic, especially if you're new to it. So, start small. As you run out of something, replace it. You don't have to do a total overhaul to make a difference. Every swap is going to count. Okay. Look for credible labels. This can be tricky because marketing can get pretty smart, but you want to be fragrance free, paraben free, phthalate free. Those are all credible options. Using an app like Yucca can be helpful for learning more about products that are good options as well, or just going towards trusted brands that are tried and true, like things like Truly Free, for instance, for a lot of cleaning options there as well. Things like makeup products. I'm a big fan of Crunchy and Araza. Our skincare products, Primally Pure is a great brand also. And as always, like this is one piece of the puzzle. So we can be limiting exposure, but if our detox organs are not being supported with the nutrients that they need, and just the resources that they need to flow and process appropriately, we might need some additional support to really reduce the toxic burden and toxic load that we've been experiencing for potentially years and years. So if this sounds like you, don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to help you learn exactly what you need to do for your body to better support your fertility. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.